Yes, children. Let's continue with the class. The chapter which we had started in our previous lecture. We'll proceed forth with that. Okay. We are on page number 134. Up till now, we did that how Kisa Gautami, who left her son, she visited Gautam Buddha, and Gautam Buddha gave her a condition that she has to get mustard seeds from the house wherein none would have lost a child, husband, parent, or a friend. Okay, now let's proceed forth. Poor Kesa Gotami now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, "Here is mustard seed, take it." Because every house has mustard seed. So when she was asked for those mustard seeds, everyone very readily gave it to her. But when she asked, "Did a son or a daughter, a father or mother die in your family?" she questioned now. They answered, "Alas, the living are few, but the dead are many." The living are few, but the dead are many. Means in comparison to the living people, they say that many have died in the house, many closed ones, many loved ones, they had departed. Okay. Now, do not remind us of our deepest grief. This is the deepest grief ever encountered by anyone. Losing a loved one. There can be no grief more than this grief. Losing someone whom you have loved. Losing someone who had been very close to you. So when she said, he gave the mustard seeds only when you have lost none ever. So they said, don't remind us of the deepest grief. And there was no house at all, not a single house, wherein some beloved one had died in it. There was no house wherein no such thing had ever taken place. Kissa Gotami became weary. She was tired. She was hopeless because not a single house where no one may have ever died. Okay, so she was hopeless and she sat down at the wayside, continuously watching the lights of the city as they flickered up and were extinguished again. Flickering is that unsteady movement of the flames of the fire. Okay, so before getting extinguished, how that flame of fire gets unsteady. Okay, so she watched it flickering and they got finally extinguished. At last, the darkness of night reigned everywhere. Reigned here means ruled everywhere. And finally, it was complete darkness. For how long can that flame of light keep burning? It will burn only till it has oil in it. Once the oil finishes off, that light or that flame also will get extinguished. Okay. And she considered the fate of the men. With that one single flame, flickering flame getting extinguished, she got a very important lesson. And she understood the fate of men, the destiny of men, the real truth, the ultimate truth, that their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. Everyone's life, when he is about to encounter the death, it flickers, it gets unsteady, and every flame has to extinguish. Human beings are mortal. They have to encounter the death one day or the other because death is the universal truth of life, ultimate truth of life. And she thought to herself, how selfish am I in my grief? Death is common to all. Yet in this valley of desolation, there is path that leads into immortality. Who has surrendered all selfishness? Death is common to all. Every man has to die. But then still again, there is a life beyond death. life of immortality. But before that, we have to surrender our selfishness. We should no longer be selfish for our loved ones. We should accept the bitter truth that after death is immortality, and let that person be existing around us in the spiritual world. He is physically not present, but spiritually that loved one is always around us. We should not be selfish thinking that we can always and always keep our loved ones alive in front of us. Buddha then said, the life of mortals in this world is troubled. Troubled means full of sufferings, and brief. Brief means a few years of life and then there is death, and combined with pain. In life, it's not a bed of roses. We have difficulties, the trials, the tribulations, we have diseases. Okay, so this way there is pain, there are worries, there are anxieties in life, and this is all life all about. For there is not any means by which those that have been born can avoid dying. Nothing can be taken away this way, that you do any amount of scientific experiments, you do any amount of progress, you cannot stop a man from dying. Okay, for a few years you can give him life by providing medical treatments or the medications provided, but then still again after a few years one body, human body, has to depart. After reaching old age, there is death. This is something which is natural death. After reaching old age, a person would die one day. Of such a nature are living beings, and this is life all about. This is the truth of all living beings. As ripe fruits are early in danger of falling. This again is something which we know very well. A tree which is laden with fruits, which fruit would be the first one to fall down? Which fruit? The one which is ripened, no? So the same way, after old age, a person dies, something which is very natural over here. So as ripe fruits are early in danger of falling, so mortals when born are always in danger of death. As all earthen vessels made by the potter end in being broken. You cannot keep an earthen vessel retained for years and years. Any one day, it will get broken. You can keep it safe, but finally, one strike and it would get shattered. So that earthen vessel also one day gets broken. Everything has to meet its end one day. So is the life of mortals, both young and adult, both those who are fools and those who are wise. It's not that fools would die first and the wise will live. No, in front of God's eye, everyone is equal. All fall into the power of death and all are subject to death. So you may write here, death is destined to all human beings. Okay, and this brief life is a mixture of troubles and pains, happiness and sorrows. Of those who, overcome by death, depart from life, a father cannot save his son, nor kinsmen save their relations. Kinsmen are those who are your blood relatives, very close relatives. Okay, of those who overcome by death depart from life. It's not possible that you can never overcome death. One day you have to leave this world. You have to depart from this life. Mark means listen to my words, notice my words, listen carefully. While relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply, one by one mortals are carried off. Relatives, the closed ones, at the death of a beloved, at the death of someone who is very near and dear to you, all the people would cry. So according to Lord Buddha, people would keep crying, but still this destiny, this fact will take people one by one to that world. Okay, one by one mortals are carried off like an ox that is led to the slaughterhouse. In the slaughterhouse, no, daily some of the oxes are slaughtered. So one by one, just like an ox is carried for the slaughter, same way every human being, every mortal human being would be taken to death. This is the truth, ultimate truth, universal truth. So the world is afflicted with death and decay. Afflicted means adversely affected, badly affected. AFFECTED. Okay. So the world is badly affected with death and decay. Therefore, the wise do not grieve because they know these are the terms of the world. The people who really understand, they would not grieve, they would not cry, they would not weep at the death of the loved one, thinking that this is the reality. This had to take place one day. So it happened so. Not from weeping nor from grieving will anyone obtain peace of mind. Means if you keep crying, keep lamenting, keep weeping, so neither the soul who left would be at peace, neither you'll be at peace. So none of you, neither the departed soul nor the one who is left behind would be at peace. On the contrary, his pain will be greater and his body will suffer. If you keep crying, 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 departed soul, okay, that soul would be in pain. But what would affect your physical existence? That pain would have a bad effect on the body of the one who keeps crying. Okay, because one of them has physically left, spiritually around, but the other one who is physically there, he has to look after his body, and body suffers a lot when you cry. He will make himself sick and pale, yet the dead are not saved by his lamentation. Any amount of crying, you cannot save that dead man. He who seeks peace should draw out the arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. Seeks peace means give yourself a peaceful existence. Don't cry. Okay? Because any amount of crying would not be able to save that dead person. So he who seeks peace, he should draw out. So take away that lamentation away from you. Do not complain. Do not feel any amount of grief. He who has drawn out that arrow, taken away all those feelings from his mind, and has become composed, composed means calm, quiet, he will obtain peace of mind, because he would have actually understood that this has to happen and this finally has happened. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow, and he would remain blessed, blessed as a child of God, away from the pains and pleasures. A person who remains calm in whatever the situation may be. So according to him, wise people don't cry. They accept this thing as the truth which is there in every mortal's life. Okay, so with this we finish with the chapter, and now I'm proceeding forth towards the question answers. I'm sharing the screen and you all do the answers in your notebook. Okay, have a look. When her son dies, Kissa Gotami goes from house to house. What does she seek for? and does she get it? Why not? After the death of her only son, Kissa Gotami was overcome with grief. She carried the dead body of her son in her arms and she went from door to door asking for medicine to cure her child. But nobody could provide any medicine, for there is no such medicine available which can bring a dead person back to life. Kissa Gotami again goes from house to house after she speaks with the Buddha. What does she ask for? Does she get it? Why not? Gautam Buddha asks Kissa to bring a handful of mustard seeds from her house, where death had never knocked at the door. Kissa Gotami went from door to door, but she couldn't find a single house where death had not taken a beloved away. She could not get it as death is inevitable and anyone who is born is bound to die one day. There was no such house where none had ever died. Question number 3. What does Kissa Gotami understand the second time that she failed to understand the first time? Was this what Buddha wanted her to understand? After failing to procure a handful of mustard seeds from a house where death had never knocked at the door, she sat down by the roadside feeling helpless. She saw the lights of the city that flickered and were extinguished. At last, it was darkness everywhere. She then understood what Lord Buddha wanted her to understand, that everyone who is born has to die one day. She finally realized that death was common to all and no lamentation or grieving can make a dead man alive. She was being selfish in her grief. Next question. What do you think Kissa Gotami understood this only the second time? In what way did Buddha change her understanding? Earlier, she could see only her grief. When she went from door to door the second time, she understood that everyone was dealing with the loss of a beloved or the loved one. She realized that death spares none. There was not a single house in the town where death had not taken a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, son, or a daughter away. Everyone at some point or the other have experienced the death of their loved ones. Gautam Buddha helped her to understand all this as she told her to bring her a handful of mustard seeds from a house where had never death had never knocked at the door. This way, she got aware that death is common to all human beings. All mortals are destined to die sooner or later. No amount of lamentation can bring the dead back to life. Okay, now the last answer. How do you usually understand the idea of selfishness? Do you agree with Kissa Gotami that she was being selfish in her grief? A selfish person is the one who only thinks about himself or herself. We forget that we are humans, we are mortals, and it is natural for us to die. We do not easily accept the death of our loved ones, which is indeed a universal truth. Same has happened with Kissa Gotami, and to some extent, Kissa Gotami was being selfish. In her grief, she forgot that all of us are destined to die one day. She went around asking for a medicine which could make her dead son alive. As it was her only child, she didn't want him to die, so she went to Buddha to ask for help. Okay, this is it. With this, we finish with the question answers of the sermon at Banaras. Kindly keep your notebook updated. Goodbye, children. Take care.